Hey guys, welcome to Business Review Friday. It's a new thing that we're doing each week now, where Andy's going to talk about things that have come up for business owners during coaching sessions. And the idea is that we start to give you some value of what sort of issues have been coming up, or what challenges people are facing in business right now that Andy's seeing between clients day by day. So Andy, what sort of challenges have been arising in different coaching sessions?
So not just coaching sessions, actually. I met with a prospect yesterday and it showed up there too. You know, the number one thing for me that's come up this week is time. How many people are using time as an excuse? Because let's be fair, we all get the same number of hours in a week. So why is it that we choose to prioritise it or not as we do? That's the number one thing.
Good. Anything else other than time?
No, I mean, for me, time, we only get it once, right? So why is it we're so profligate with it? And why is it that we choose to spend so much of it doing stupid? I mean, I call it stupid. and stupid is like the low value stuff that doesn't make sense. So, you know, if you're a business owner, that means stuck out on the workshop floor doing low value operational stuff. If you're doing that, who's growing and running the business?
Right, yeah.
Why is it we choose to collude with people? And what I mean with collude with people is, you know, I was chatting with somebody this morning, and essentially what they're doing is allowing their diary to be sabotaged by other people, which is causing them not to do what they should be doing. So it's almost like they're prioritising their customers over their own business. Well, I'm afraid, guys, you can replace a customer, but you can't replace you right now. So if you're not guarding your time and being more sort of building brick walls around the time that you should be doing to move you forward, guess what? You're just setting a goal to stay exactly where you are.
So what sort of things should they be doing to measure their time? Is there any sort of things that people that are watching right now can implement straight into their business to start looking at this and start analysing this?
Yeah, of course. I mean, let's be fair. Most of us come across that idea of the rocks, pebbles and sand analogy, right? So let's think about what the rocks are. The rocks are the things that we have to schedule into our diary. We talk about scheduling your priorities, not prioritising your schedule. And you know, when we schedule our priorities, that's the things they're actually going to move us forward, not the things that are going to keep us where we are.
So let's go into that then. What is it? I mean, I've heard you talk about it before, but for people that are watching right now, what do you mean by rocks, pebbles and sand?
Yeah, okay. So I mean, for me, the rocks would be the absolute necessity things, unnegotiable things that we have to do to move our business forward. So that would be sitting down and reviewing the numbers, for example. It would be going out and creating new prospects and going out and having sales meetings to generate new clients for our business. It would be having team meetings and management meetings to make sure people are held correctly accountable. It'd be working on our plan to move us towards our goals. Those would be the rocks. Those are the things that should be built into the diary and kind of ring fenced. So, you know, if you're going to, for example, have management meetings, they're in the diary 9 till 10 on a Monday morning, for example, and they stay there, then they're unnegotiable. If a prospect rings you up or a customer rings you up and says, come and meet with me, the answer is no, I'm already in a meeting. You know, too many people that I'm finding are just allowing their diary to be run by other people who don't actually know what's in their diary. You know, a question that I often ask people is, if you were in a meeting with your most important client, would you answer your phone or answer your emails or, you know, book another meeting in? And the answer, of course, is always no. So why is it then that when they ring fence time theoretically to work on their business to move it forward, that they're so willing to let other people come and sabotage that time? Now let's be fair, the only person that knows what's in your diary or what you've set yourself up to do is you. So this is a discipline issue. You know, we've got to get more disciplined in business, because otherwise the week goes by, the month goes by, the year goes by, and guess what? We're in exactly the same position as we were 12 months ago. And I just see that happening far too much. Yeah,
I mean, there's a saying, I think you said it before, have you been in business for 10 years or more, or have you been in business 1 year 10 times? I think that's really cool when you think about the underpinning of that. It's real, yeah, it's real big.
It is. I mean, we meet a number of people that, you know, are just doing the same thing and expecting a different result. And we all know that that's definition of insanity, right? First of all, we've got to think differently. And if we don't think differently, we won't ask ourselves better questions about what different results we can achieve. If we don't ask ourselves different questions, we certainly won't take different actions. So we won't get different results. So, you know, I quite often ask clients when I'm sitting down talking with them, well, look, you know, when you're out doing stupid on the shop floor, how many great ideas do you have about how to move your business forward? And guess what the answer comes back as? None, right? So then I say, well, you know, when you're lying on your sunbed, when you're on holiday, how many fantastic ideas do you have about moving your business forward and growing it? And they go, loads. Right, okay, so why aren't you creating more space in your diary? Why is it that you're doing stupid so much of the time? Surely that just means stay where you are. But you told me you don't want to stay where you are. So what's leading you to choose stupid all the time?
All right, so you mentioned like being on holiday and having these great ideas. And the idea for me is really that you should be having more holidays with your business. So this is something that you are unique with. Really big on this, is having more money and more time with the business. What does that mean for business owners when you start to speak to people about that? What are you actually bringing out?
Yeah, look, I mean, how many people come at this with an or mentality? And what I mean by that is we can have a great business or we can have a great life. We can have lots of profits or we can have. For me, I don't believe that. I believe in and. So why shouldn't you have a great business and a great life? Because if we know how to structure a business and run it correctly, then that's the choices that it gives us. So we're thinking about this wrong. We think, you know, we've got to have one or the other when we can have both. And why shouldn't you? To be fair, many of us went into business to give ourselves more choices, more money, more freedom. And then we get onto the treadmill of our business and off we go, running around doing stupid, spending far too many hours doing low value stuff and tying ourselves to something that doesn't need us to be tied to. So for me, you know, this whole idea of why wouldn't you go and create something that really serves you rather than, you know, binds you to it, and go and have the great business and the great life. It's possible.
So what's the logical steps that business owners should be doing to get this great business and great life?
Logical steps. Is it logic or is it emotion? I mean, let's be fair. The first thing is, if you're not thinking big enough about where your business needs to go, if you're thinking about staying where you are, it'd be great if we did what we did last year. How differently do you have to think? If you're thinking about doing 10% more than you did last year, how differently do you have to think? Not. Is it possible to work 10% harder? Maybe. Why would you want to though? You know, for me, I had a conversation, and it's coming back to time again, with somebody yesterday about how do you get paid as a business owner? And the answer is dividends. You know, we receive profits. And what's the actual correlation between dividends and time? None, right? Because if you've got shares in a FTSE company, you receive your dividends. How much time do you give them on an annual basis? None.
That's right.
So
that's right. Yeah.
The point is actually, for me, what I spot is because many business owners are wearing a couple of hats in their business. You know, they've got the MD, and of course they've got to give some time for that. And they might be wearing some other hats as well, operational hats or sales and marketing hats or whatever it is. Then there's still a time for money correlation. And the thing is, what that then, I think because of our social conditioning, you know, we got fed into a system when we were 5 years old where we go to school at 9 o'clock on a Monday morning and they release us at 5 o'clock on a Friday afternoon, give or take. So because we've been socially conditioned to that amount of hours every week, many of us have got it buried in our brains that we've got to fill that time with work. So invariably, because the high value stuff is not within our comfort zone, most of us, we haven't learned how to do that stuff yet, we just fill it with stupid instead. Low value tasks to get through the week. Well, from my point of view, why wouldn't we think better about our time? Why wouldn't we think about doing the high value stuff, delegating away the low value stuff, and having the ability to have choice and time for ourselves as well as grow our business?
Delegation then, what does that mean to you? When you're working with a new client, I mean, I see the clients coming in here, you know, 3 years, 5 years, even 7 years of working with Andy, and they've got a totally different mindset, Andy, from the people who are just starting out with you
Yeah.
around this area of time and delegation. And what does delegation mean? Does it just mean giving people the work that you don't want to do, or what's your take on it?
Okay, so that's abdication.
I'm good at that.
Abdication is just chucking stuff at somebody and hoping for the best. How many people, because they're, one of the most common areas that this shows up in actually is sales. Because if you think about it, most people are operationally good. They set up their business because they're good at an operation. They're not good at sales. So how many people do you think I've met who've hired a salesperson and actually just gone out to them and said, go and get me some sales? Now, that's about as much abdication as you can possibly do. Then they wonder why the sales guy isn't actually giving them the results they want, because how much clarity was there in the first place? So delegation is this really. The systems run the business, the people run the systems. The value in your business, guys, is in the system. You've got to have great people to operate the systems, but the value is in the systems. So delegation is having somebody operate within a system to give you predictable consistency within your business, and being able to hold them accountable to a set of results, and them hold themselves accountable to a set of results so that they can go away and assess and improve. That's true delegation.
Yeah.
They have ownership for this stuff, and they can come back to you and say, look, this is what's happened this week, this is what's caused it. Okay, let's talk about what we need to do better, where are our opportunities. That's delegation. Anything else is abdication. If they're not operating within a system, then there's too much, I call it wriggle room. There's too much wriggle room in place. How do you know if they're having a great day? And actually it's a question that I quite often ask people, if I went up to your team member and asked them what a great day looks like, and then I asked you the same question, would they give me the same answer as you would give me?
Interesting.
And very often the answer is no. So whose responsibility is it to make that clear?
Yeah. Okay, so we've run out of time now. There's obviously so much information. We started off talking about time, and then we've gone on to how delegation can help you get there. So I think we've covered some pretty important topics.
Yeah.
And this is just the tip of the iceberg, guys. Obviously, I work with Andy, and I see what's happening with the clients and how they're growing their businesses, from 300,000 to 3 million, and then 3 million to 30 million. They're growing. They're really growing expansion. So the stuff that Andy's talking about now, this has worked across the board. It's not just for some sort of business. And I hear you say quite a lot that one of the biggest objections people get is, that won't work in my business. We won't go there, but
maybe we'll go there next week.
Yeah, maybe we'll go there next week. Just think though, this works across the board, guys. This is the basics of how to scale a business and start to increase that financial turnover. So we'll talk about that next week anyway. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you took some value from it, and tune in. We're going to have Monday mindset sessions and Friday review. Don't know if they're the best names yet, Andy, but we'll come up with something. I think Monday mindset's pretty cool, man.
Comments in the boxes.
Yeah, comments in the box. What should we do Monday and Friday? Monday mindset to get you motivated, pumped, and make it happen for the week. Friday review for a bit of learning. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, cool.
Awesome. Catch you later, guys.